How's guys, what's going on? My name is Prashant and welcome to Tech Scenes Editing. Today we're discussing your top 5 tech needs for load shedding. So with Eskom implementing load shedding a couple of weeks ago, it came up at a family function what were some of the things that we actually need during load shedding. And that's how this video came about. And with load shedding, the funny thing is, although it's gone away now, it'll definitely be back in the coming weeks, in the coming months, you never know, right? So here's our list. It's in no order at all, but it actually is in a bit of order, right? So at number 5, you have a gas stove. So most of the time load shedding hits on a schedule and most people cook in regards to that basically. So if they know power is going off at 4 o'clock, then they'll be cooking at 2 o'clock or even before that, so that the food is ready before 4. But sometimes with Eskom changing it as needs change, you could be caught off guard and your lights might just go off. But it's also handy to have a gas stove, because when you want a cup of tea or anything, you don't have to just sit for 2 hours. You can still boil your water on the stove, on your gas stove, and make your tea. And the funny thing with gas stoves are, you don't need the big cylinder anymore. There's these mini gas stoves you can get for like 300 bucks for a little, I think it's 2 plate you can get. And the gas canisters cost about 50 rand or 60 rand. And the canister actually lasts quite long. So my cousin has one that we use when we're going to the beach and stuff. And that's really handy to have. Even it's really inexpensive compared to buying a 9 kilo gas cylinder, right? So moving on to number 4. At number 4, we have emergency lights, right? So when load shedding kicked in many years ago, everyone came out with these 12 volt rechargeable lights, and those things were absolutely garbage. They worked, they provide you with light, but in the long run those things die out. And there are even these bulbs that you can put. It's a regular bulb that when you switch the light switch on and off, it works, and then it comes with the remote and a built-in battery, so that when load shedding kicks in, you can actually switch the light on with the remote. But those things too have a lifespan. So it's really, you have to have a decent light, and sometimes you have to be willing to spend a little more than you need to. And the thing is, in the current day and age, you can use candles, but candles are becoming really much of a very high risk, because fires are becoming a very prominent thing. And if you look at what's going on in America at the moment, a tiny little fire can become a really big thing. Alright, so moving on to number 3. At number 3, we have Wi-Fi. So during load shedding, you can't be sitting there looking at the walls, counting how many cars are going up and down your road. You can sleep actually. You can actually sleep for 2 hours, but it wouldn't be very productive. So most of the newer, it's called Wi-Fi devices, have built-in batteries. It's about, I think it's 1,000 rand if you buy it prepaid, but you also get it free with some of the contracts. Those little pocket devices have built-in batteries, so you have Wi-Fi. And the newer 4G routers also have backup power banks that you connect to them. So they run on your 220 mains, and they also have like a battery backup that you can plug in if there's no main power, right? So you need to figure out your Wi-Fi and actually have some system that keeps your Wi-Fi on during load shedding. So with us here, we have a UPS that's connected to the system, to the network, and that keeps the system on even for longer than load shedding. So at number 2, we have a power bank. So again, if you're caught off guard, and sometimes not even if you're caught off guard, sometimes we are all lazy and just forget about charging our phone. So if you have your Wi-Fi on, you'll be using your phone, and it's pointless having the Wi-Fi on if your phone is on 20% and going to die within the first 5 minutes. So that's where you need to have a power bank. So in case your battery dies during load shedding, you know you can actually charge it and still use it. But we don't suggest charging your phone and using it while charging. So moving on to number one. At number one, if you have the funds for it and the resources, we suggest UPSs and inverters. So how UPSs and inverters work, they basically have batteries in, well, a battery pack or some form of a power source, which is a battery, a DC power source. And what it does, it inverts the power, from the name inverter. It inverts the power to your 220 and allows you to keep your lights on and some of your essential things, like obviously your Wi-Fi, you can charge devices. And I've seen some homes that actually have inverters built for the entire system. So the inverter is a battery and a generator is different, where you actually have to buy petrol, it's not eco-friendly and so on. Alright, so the inverter, as I was saying, the inverter actually, I've seen people who have big inverters that power the entire house. So as soon as load shedding kicks in, they switch on the inverter and the inverter literally brings up the entire system back again. From your fridge to your TV, all your lights, your gate, everything. Alright, so that brings us to the end. Let me know what you think of my list and if there are any things that's missing, right? You can do so in the comments below. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one.